September 10th, 2017. You're listening to What's Happening in Cleveland. Yay! With your hosts, Kevin Baird.
And Don Anderson.
And Larry Mack.
Oh, I didn't know he was there.
Larry shows up at the last possible second.
Wow. I wasn't looking at the right screen. Okay, sorry. Don Anderson.
All right, so we got the three of us. Brian will not be here for the show. He has to work. And he's actually at work because he did post up something about being in a hotel with a shower or something. I don't know. It does seem sort of weird that his hours are all over the map right now. Like, I'm not quite sure what's going on there. He should probably talk about it on the show, but he is usually void of details on such things.
He's usually void of a lot.
So I'll have to just find that out. But in the meantime, we could talk
Here we are.
to our hosts that are here about how their week went. Don,
Whoa.
I know you're in the middle of a video game, but how was your week?
Let me hit the pause button. My week was good for the most part. There was work. There was non-work. Maybe I shut my camera off. And all kinds of hilarity ensued. I won't talk about the Rounds dog anymore. Although it was quite enlightening.
Right.
I will say this. I went over to Adam's Friday night, and he told me, he says, hey, I usually go over there on Saturday nights. And he called me up on Friday. He says, come on over. So I went over Friday night. We're hanging out on the porch, and he says, yeah, I'm going to a clam bake tomorrow on Saturday. He says, I'm going to a clam bake on Saturday. And I said, oh, cool. That's cool. You're getting out into public. You know, I'm thinking in my head, like, who the hell does he know that he's going to go to a clam bake for something? You know, so I'm like, I'm letting it go. And he's talking. He goes, yeah. And I was talking to the one guy, and he says, yeah, there's going to be no women. It's just going to be us guys. It's just a guys' night clam bake. And that's when I was like, uh-oh. Like, that doesn't sound like fun. And he goes, I know, it doesn't sound like it's all that entertaining anymore. And I said, are you still going? He goes, well, yeah, I'm going to go. And so then from there, I proceeded to do the whole gamut of different things that could happen to him. Like, you know, hey, you show up and all the guys are hanging out. And they're like, all right, guys, Adam's here. Let's all get in the hot tub. It's hot tub time, guys. Strip down. Clothing is not optional. And then he's just like, no, it's nothing like that. I go, you don't know. There's no girls there. And what if they start saying, like, truth or dare? And then they're like, you're like, okay, I'll take a dare. And they're like, I dare you to put your dick in my mouth or something. You know?
Adam's here. Get the lotion. Put the lotion on.
Right,
Adam.
you know.
What?
It's like, it's not like that. It's not like that. They're not all gay. And I was like, oh, so you walk up and they hand you a robe and a hood. And they're like, welcome to the tribe, brother.
Yeah, take off your pants. You got to have your pants off, Adam.
Did you bring a lighter? We got some crosses to burn. Here's your hood. You know, and he'd be like, no, nothing like that. I go, who are these? And that's when I asked him. I was like, who are these people? I go, I don't even know who you're talking. How do you know so many people that can have a clam bake? And I don't know any of them. You know, I was like, I've known you for like 30 years. And he says, he goes, it's this one guy I know. That I know that he knows. He played in a band with him, Klaus. And I was like, oh, so you're going there with only one person you know? And he's like, well, no, I know a couple of them. And I go, oh, well. And he goes, yeah, they're all spending the night and camping out and stuff. He's like, I'm just going to go there and then I'm going to come home. And the one guy's like, I got an air mattress. And I'm like, I don't need your air mattress. I'm going home. I don't need it. I'm like, these are your new friends, Adam. Don't lose your shit on them yet. You know, give him a chance to learn about you for a little bit.
Like he's all offended the guy would offer him an air mattress.
Right, exactly. He's like, what are you talking? I don't need your stupid air mattress. And it's going to be funny when he gets out there and his car breaks down. He has to spend the night. And the dude's like, well, I forgot the air mattress because you told me not to bring it, stupid. It's like, there's no point. He goes, you don't need to bother packing that up and stuff. It's like, dude, it's a foot. It's like a square foot folded up. It's an air mattress. It's not blown up at all times. You know,
like they're driving down the highway with it strapped to the roof. It's all blown.
Right. He's thinking they gotta put it all. You know, he's like, it's always you gotta blow it up at home, and then bring it. It's like, no, it's not really like that. You know, so it's Friday night, and he says to me, he goes, "Hey man, do me a favor." And it was like midnight, turned midnight. And he goes, "Is it midnight?" And I go, "Yeah, it's midnight." And he goes, "Well, would you look at that?" And I go, "What?" He goes, "Do you know what today is?" And I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't know what today was, but when he asked me, I immediately knew what day it was. And I said, "It's your birthday." And he's like, "Yep." And I was like, "Of course, because only, you know, people who know that they don't know your birthday always ask you, "Do you know what today is?" And it's like, it's not our anniversary. You know, I know it's not my birthday. So I dealt with that. So then he says, "So I'm going to this clam bake tomorrow. So do you think you could do me a favor and swing by the house and just make sure there's nothing going on around here? Like no funny business." I'm like, "What kind of funny business is going on at your house?" He's like, "I don't want people like looting around my property, looking through my stuff, or trying to get into the house and stuff." And I'm like,
The fuck
if
are they
anybody,
gonna loot?
if anybody, well, that's the thing is, if anybody looked at his house, they would be like, "There is nothing in there for me." You know, there's nothing that I want involved in that house right there. And he's just like, no, doesn't get it. He's like, no.
Does he ever see his brothers?
He talks about them a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if he sees them, but that's what he said. He even brought them up. He goes, "I think I'm going to go visit my brothers. I'm going to take a week off and go visit them." And to which I responded, "Do they want you to come?" But you know, that's not really up to me, I guess. So
Hilarious.
but, yeah. So there's that, and then I went over to Clint's last night, and as I walked in the door, he was on the phone with the police.
Oh wow.
And, yeah, because I guess somebody was trying to break into his house while he was in it, allegedly.
Bunch of criminals outside, and they're like, "What about that guy that's in the house? Have you seen that guy? He's not going to be a problem."
Right.
Let's go break in. Yeah.
We can run away from him. So I pull up, and he's talking to the cops on the phone. He's on the phone trying to get to the cops, and blah 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 blah. So then he finally gets through because he calls like Olmsted Falls instead of Olmsted Township, and they like get really offended. They're like, "We're the township, we're the falls. You called the wrong one, jerk." And so he's like, "Oh, okay, I got to call the other one." So he calls the other one, and then he's talking, and he just starts blah, 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 blah. For a dude who's told so many stories about how calm, cool, and collective he is, he loses it when he's on the phone with the cops. He just cannot talk. He's just like, "I got these guys to come in my house," and the guy's like, calm down, I'll send a car out. He's like, no, I don't want a car. I just want to give you the guy's. I'll give you the guy's license number. I got his license plate number. The cop's like, "Okay, give me his license." He's like, "Relax, man. Go ahead, give me the license plate number." He goes, it's like GBN, and the guy's like, gamma, beta, neutron or something. You know, he said three words, and Clint's like, What are you saying?" And I'm like, the guy's making sure he gets the right letters. I'm like, that's how you play this game. And he didn't get it. He was, "What?" And I had to like give him the the hand patting motion, like, "Dude, calm down. Like, bring it down a bit. You're freaking out for nothing." I was like, "Did you catch a kid in your garage?" He's like, "No, but he went running out the door when I got out here." And I said, "Okay, so he got away."
Oh, so they got into his house, or
he left his garage, his sidewalk, man door open.
Oh, okay.
Because he goes out there because he goes out there to smoke.
Right.
And so he leaves the door open to air the garage out, and he came out thinking I had just come. He thought I came over because he heard a noise in the garage. Because I called him. I said, "I'm on my way over." He thought he heard a noise. He thought it was me. So he comes out, and the dude darts out the door in the dark. The guy just darts out the door. He's like, "Hello?" he says the kid goes, "Hello," and took off. So he went and he chased the kid out the door, and then and according to him, they were so stupid that they got in their car and drove towards him instead of like backing up and going the other way. He says they drove right towards him, and he got their license plate number and called the cops. And then I told him, I said, the cops are coming. I said, they're going to come over here. Sure. He's like, no, they're not. I told them not to come over here. I said, the cops are coming over here. He's like, no, they're not. They're not coming over here. About 10 minutes later, thud, 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 thud on the door. I heard him out in the driveway. I was like, dude, I hear their walkie-talkie. They're in the driveway. Because we got the garage doors shut, you know, and he's like, he locks the door. He's like, they're not coming in here. And I go, dude, there are cops in your driveway. You need to go talk to them. He's like, nah, they can stay out there all night for all I care. And I'm looking at him like, when did you become Adam? Like, you know, like, when did you become so like, you know, forget about them. I'll do what I want. My property. And so I'm like, dude, they're going to knock on the door. I don't need a listen. Everybody knows me.
Right. I know where you're going. Yep.
I don't need the hassle. Okay. I don't need anybody. They're probably out there looking in my car, you know, with their flashlights, like, what's this and what's that, you know? And it's like, dude, go out there and talk to the cops and get them out of here. No, it's cool. It's cool. Bam, bam. They start banging on the front door. I go, now you got to go. I was like, what the hell is your problem? Then he goes out there and he talks to him. And then they leave. And he's like, see, I handled it. I'm like, you're an idiot. I'm like, what? I told you they were coming. He's like, whatever. They didn't wake my wife up. And I was, because I told him, I said, they're going to bang on the door and wake Nina up. And then you're really going to be in trouble. And he was like, well, they didn't wake Nina up. And I go, yeah, but they still showed up. And I told you they were going to bang on your door. And they did. They did everything. And I told you to get rid of them, but you never did. I go, when did you become Adam? And that's when he got mad. He was flipping me off and stuff. So
hilarious. That's great.
So there's that. So that was that. I mean, that's the epitome of my week.
Right on. Okay.
You know,
Larry, how was your week?
Not as funny.
You did pick up your daughter, so that story.
It was bereft of humor.
Well, that's why you're here now.
So yes, picked up my daughter this week. Went down Monday to get her, and get down there, and she and her mother are already arguing about stuff. Basically, she's like telling her mom, "You live in, you made us move down here." And we're living in, like, the hood. This is, like, the projects.
What part of Columbus is it?
We'll get there.
Oh, okay. As long as it's part of the story. Because I want to know, because I know all those parts.
Oh, yeah. So I'm like, Lizzie, you right now, what you're doing is not helping any situation that is currently going on with any of us. So just stop it. So then she gets mad at me about something. So she's going back and forth, throwing her stuff in my car, won't talk to me. I'm trying to sort out the school thing with her book fees that we discussed last week.
Right.
And I told Vicky, I was like, okay, so tomorrow, since this was the holiday, I was like, tomorrow you're going to call the school. You're going to talk through this whole we left them in her locker thing, because I still don't believe they just leave the lockers over the summer. Like, it's the kids' locker forever. So you're going to call them tomorrow and get that sorted out. And if Lizzie and I have to go up there to go to her locker or whatever and check them in, we'll do that. But you're going to get that answer. And whatever isn't there, whatever the book fee is, you're paying it.
Right. Sure.
And she's like, well, I don't know when I'm going to be able to call. I don't get a break. I was like, I'm sure you have 10 minutes during the day. You can call somebody. And then she's like, and these course fees, am I just going to pull those out of my ass? And I was like, I'm looking at this. If all the books are actually there, the course fees are like $40. And these go back to like her freshman year. Over the last 3 years, you should have been able to scrape together $40 to pay for this.
Right.
I'm not paying it. Just so we're clear. So she's like, fine. And Lizzie finishes getting her stuff. And, she gets out, Lizzie and I get in the car, pull out of, the parking spot. I look at Lizzie, and I was like, yeah, this is the projects. And for Donnie's edification, she is up right off of Morse. Around
Morse Road. I know Morse Road.
Yeah, like if you're heading south and get off at Morse, there's that big mall, and she's just past that. Totally the hood. Absolutely the hood.
Good times.
So yeah. So we get her up here, and we got her all set with school.
Oh, good.
All signed up. We went up to her old school, and they actually had all of the books except the ones that Lizzie actually had with her.
Oh, okay.
So, like, she had her laptop and her calculator and one book, and they had already checked in the rest in the media center. So the secretary at school took care of those. School fees came to whatever, it was like $60 or something. And Vicky did pay him, so yay her. We went up to the new school, got her enrolled, and then we had to go back for another meeting with the counselor to actually get her into some classes. Took care of that, and she will be starting school tomorrow.
In Cuyahoga Falls School, is that what it is? I don't know what
Yeah.
other schools are. Sometimes cities around here share schools. So
No, it's Cuyahoga Falls. And we don't have her official transcript yet because that was just requested from the school. But when we walked through it with the guidance counselor, he was like, "Yeah, getting her graduated this year is going to be tough."
Yeah, it sounds.
Even setting aside the fact that we're starting like a month late. So basically, she doesn't have a study hall. She has 3 math classes.
Wow.
She has 2 language arts classes, a couple other stuff, and she's probably going to wind up having to take 1, possibly 2 classes in the summer.
Jeez.
But if that all works out, she wouldn't walk, but she would graduate in the summer and would still be the class of 2018. So that's plan A. Come December-ish or so, we're basically going to have a sit-down with the counselor and see where we stand. And if she's totally getting her head kicked in, then we'll back off and say, nope, you're going to be here part-time next year. But that's planned. She, of course, is losing her mind because Cuyahoga Falls doesn't have a bus for the high school. And
Larry's not driving her.
Well, every so often I do have to go to the office. And she's like, well, we'll just figure something out and I'll get my license, and because you can take me to get my license now because Mommy couldn't do that. And I was like, okay, first of all, we're worrying about your license once school has settled down. Second of all, you getting your license doesn't mean you have a car.
Right.
If I can't drive you, that means I'm in the office, and I'm not walking to the office. But there, you can take. We have a city bus that has a bus stop at the end of the street of her school, and a bus stop at the end of my block. She's like, I'm not taking a city bus. Those people are weird. They're losers. I am not taking a city bus. And so finally she's like, well, we don't have to figure this out. We can figure it out later. I'm sure we'll. And I was like, remember how next Friday we have to cancel your orthodontist's appointment because I have to go to the office? You have 5 days to come up with a plan.
Basically.
She's like, well, what am I supposed to do? I was like, take the city bus. She's like, I'll just walk. I was like, Then walk. Walk all you want.
Or a bicycle. I don't know if she knows how to ride a bike.
Yeah.
It's an option until winter shows up.
So, what else do we do this week? Oh, I had my birthday this week.
Happy birthday, Larry.
Thank you. Took the day off because I'm going to kill people at my job. I was like, I'm just taking... I know this is last minute, but I don't have any important meetings. I'm taking the day. Susie came down to make me some bacon for breakfast. We hung out. She worked from home here. We watched some TV and drank and stuff until other people filtered in, and then we went out to this speakeasy down the road from my house. And this place is kind of cool because they play up on the speakeasy theme. Like inside, it's all decorated for the period, and on the outside, there's 2 secret doors to get in. So you have to figure out how to open them because it's a speakeasy, so it's secret. So that was cool.
Cool.
And got to try some of them absinthe type drinks because it was my birthday.
Because why not?
Yeah. Went out for some pizza afterwards at a place that doesn't take cards. So that was a fun little revelation when we got our bills. Oh yeah, we don't take cards. We take checks or cash.
Oh, jeez.
We do have an ATM. Their ATM, it's like a card swipe, like the old school credit card machine where you swipe it and it gives you the printout, and you have to select it in, so it looks like you're swiping your card. You're still putting in multiples of 10, and then you take the receipt up to the register. And like if your bill was $25 and you took out 30, they give you $5 change. It was this whole weird thing, and I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and write a check because I'm like the one person in the world who actually carries a checkbook on him.
Yeah, that's weird.
So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna write a check because this is kind of goofy. And that was pretty much it.
All right. Let's see. My week, I went to the auto dealer on Friday because I took the day off because I bought one of those rip-off exterior paint protection plan things that's supposed to make it so you don't have to wax your car for 5 years, which is a bunch of crap. So I go in and they have like this waiting room and stuff, and I'm thinking, okay, well, they're going to wax my car, so that's going to take some time, right? So I'm figuring it's going to take a couple hours or 3 hours or something. So they're about 5.5 hours. And they have a board. They have like a digital board, and it says your name, and it says the status, right? So if they're working on it, it says working, and then if they're, getting done with it, it says finalizing, and you go see the agent when it says see agent. So mine just says working, and it's like 6 o'clock, and the place is closing. And I'm like, all right, well, what the fuck? So I look out the window into like the service area. And, I don't see my car, and I don't see my repair guy. There's a bunch of other repair guys there.
And all the lights are off. And...
it was getting close to that because it was like closing time. But I did see my car near the front. And I'm like, okay. And so I go outside, and I look at my car, and I guess it was done. Like, it was shiny. Like, at least it was washed, and it's sitting there. So I go back inside, and I'm like, I think my car is done. There's like some girl like emptying out this cash register in the parts department, and I go,
she's like calling the police.
But I don't know where Phil is, which is the name of my repair guy. And she's like, oh, Phil went home sick, and I was like, so this thing could have been done like 4 hours ago for all I know, and I was just sitting in the waiting room. Nobody updated the board. Nobody came and told me anything. I was just sitting there for fucking half the day. Fucking waiting for somebody that was never gonna come, and I was like, I'm still pretty pissed off about it. And the guy eventually, he's like, well, I don't have any paperwork for you, but here's your keys, and he'll have to get with you later. I don't even know if what they were supposed to do was even done. I have no idea. I may have been there for like 5 hours for nothing.
The car never moved.
Right.
Never even took it.
They might have just washed it and then parked it there, waiting for somebody to do something to it, and
then he went home sick.
Right, that guy went home sick, and then nobody ever touched my car and never updated anything. So Monday, I'm gonna call and be like, I think something was done. So do I get a warranty or something? And then yell at them about leaving me in the waiting room for 5 hours. I mean, I can't blame that guy. Maybe he was like on the ground clutching his chest or something.
Yeah,
you know,
like maybe he went home sick in an ambulance.
Right. I don't know his story, but I think the rest of the place completely dropped the ball. So, yeah, that was fucking, just my bad experience at Vanderveer Chevrolet's first attempt at fixing something for me, basically. Yeah, and then otherwise I did my deck. I haven't put my pool away yet because I was going to do it today, and then I was like, I better treat the deck because once the cover's on, then I can't, treat the deck. So I did that, and that's a pain in the ass, and I broke the fucking stupid handle. I use a paint roller, so I have a paint roller on a stick, and the stick had a plastic screw-on part, and it snapped about almost done. So then I'm like on my knees with the roller, like doing the end of it. And that's dumb. So that was like I have a big deck, so that was the part of the deck that wrapped around the pool, but not the part that you get to when you just exit the house. So that part's going to be later. And then Cease at some point is going to come over, and we're going to cut out my bathtub's leaking. So we're going to cut out the ceiling in order to replace that piece of drywall and figure out why it's leaking. I don't actually know if Cease is going to come over. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, hey, man, can you come over and help? Yeah, I'll come over and help. But he'll probably never come over and help because it's Cease. So, eventually I'll just have to...
So what are you trying to say?
I'll just have to drag him up. No, he'll, but he's got a kid and everything. He's got a million things he's got to do. So it's just hard to get him, like, on a weekend to stop over. But I'm sure he will at some point. It'll just be like, look, we'll still be talking about this 5 months from now. This whole thing's going to be a disaster, one way or the other. All right. Now we're going to do our drinking game, and we're going to read emails this week. So first, the drinking game, and the rules are pretty simple. If somebody gets shot, you have to drink. If it happens on Cleveland's east side, you have to drink. And if Jennifer Cha-Cha is the one announcing it, you have to drink. And yes, it's the Cleveland Metro News from Cleveland.com. Give them a little plug. Cleveland, Ohio. New information was released Sunday about a 49-year-old man shot, drink, and killed early Saturday on the city's east side. Drink.
All day long.
The shooting happened about 2 a.m. Saturday outside of Cheers Bar.
Oh,
Where everybody knows your name. At the intersection of East 93rd Street and George Avenue.
Oh, my God. They better not have shot Norm.
Cleveland Police spokeswoman Sergeant Jennifer Cha-Cha said.
Yeah!
Hat trick. Everybody drink. The victim was found on the sidewalk in front of the bar. The man suffered multiple gunshot wounds and was taken to university hospitals by paramedics, where he was pronounced dead, Cha-Cha said. He will be publicly identified by the Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's Office once family is notified. During their early investigation, detectives learned that the victim had been inside Cheers with family and friends. He was leaving the bar when the shooter ran up to him and began firing, Cha-Cha said. Police have not yet determined a motive for the shooting. No suspect information has been provided, and no arrests have been made. If you know anything about it, 216-623-5464. That's not my house, so don't call that number.
Right.
Cleveland. A 27-year-old woman was shot, drink, and killed early Sunday on the city's east side. Drink.
Drink.
The fatal shooting happened at 2:40 a.m. at a Marathon gas station near the intersection of East 140th Street and St. Clair Avenue. Cleveland Police spokeswoman Sergeant Jennifer Cha-Cha said. Hat trick. Everybody drink. The victim was arguing with another woman in the parking lot when the victim's brother came to the gas station. Once there, he began arguing with a 38-year-old man who was at the station. Everybody just arguing with everybody else at the gas station, apparently.
It's pretty much Cleveland.
The men who were arguing both drew guns and began firing, Cha-Cha said. The 27-year-old victim was struck several times. Paramedics responded to the shooting scene and took the 27-year-old woman to Metro Health, where she was pronounced dead. She will be publicly identified by the Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's Office once her family is notified. In addition to the woman killed in the gun battle, a 49-year-old woman sitting at a nearby bus station was struck by a stray bullet to the leg. And a 26-year-old man at the gas station was hit in the arm, Cha-Cha said. Both shooters left the shooting scene before police arrived. However, the 38-year-old man involved in the gas station dispute was arrested, Cha-Cha said. It is unclear when the arrested man was taken into custody, and no formal charges have been filed. You know, I was taking my movie back today, and it's like right around the corner, but I was tired after doing my deck. So I got my car, I drove down the street, took a left, went up to the thing, took my movie back to the red box, drove back, and all of a sudden there's like two cars on the side of the road. And, some asshole that doesn't want to wait, even though the fucking cars are stopped on his side, comes barreling through, so I'm waiting for this jackass to come by. Right. And then I start, advancing, and I look over on the left, and there's like a wiped-out motorcycle, and there's some guy laying in the grass, and there's like four people like just standing there staring at him and the wiped-out motorcycle. And I'm like, that's kind of fucked up. I wonder if I caused that problem.
Was that me?
Yeah, I just drove by here like a minute ago. Did I? No, I didn't do it. And I, sure enough, then there were sirens and everything like a moment later.
Sirens.
Just kind of weird. Just like 2 seconds as I drove by, nothing, and then I come right back and there's like been an accident with a motorcycle. That's what happens. Cleveland. A man is dead after an early Saturday morning shooting, police said. Drink. The shooting happened just after 2 a.m. on East 93rd Street between Gibson and Benham Avenues. Cleveland Police spokesman Detective Reginald Lanton said. He was taken to Metro Health where he died, Lanton said. Apparently going to Metro Health or University Hospital is just, you end up...
Yeah, just don't bother.
Yeah, you're going to die there. They don't save anybody. No, we know that's not true, but it just seems that way with these things. Police did not say where he was shot, give details about the shooting, or if anyone was arrested. You know why? Because it was 2 a.m. and Cha-Cha was not on duty. She had to go home and go to sleep. I guess you get your details later. Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland mother is charged after her 3-year-old daughter was hospitalized with cocaine in her system, police say. Courtney Taylor, 20, is charged with third-degree felony child endangering. She is not in police custody, and a warrant was issued Thursday for her arrest. Taylor was the only person watching the girl on August 28th at her apartment in the 3100 block of West 38th Street in the city's Clark-Fulton neighborhood, according to court records. The next day, the girl's father took the child to University Hospital's Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital, according to police dispatch reports. The hospital found cocaine in the girl's system, and the father called police. That's what records say. Why are you going to waste expensive cocaine on a 3-year-old? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
I mean,
exactly.
But more importantly, if you're trying to watch a 3-year-old, the last thing you want is to have them all hyped up on coke.
Yeah.
Right. They got an advantage then.
Yeah, I mean, like if they had taken the kid to the hospital strung out on like ketamine or something, okay, that would make sense. I could understand that, and I might even support them. But coke,
heroin. Cleveland, Ohio. A Cleveland man is accused of peppering a crowd fighting outside a Cleveland bar with an assault rifle, leaving 1 dead and 4 others injured.
That's a shooting.
John Mittman, 21, is charged with aggravated murder and the death of 45-year-old Daryl Howard. Mittman is not in police custody, and a warrant was issued Friday for his arrest. The shooting happened about 1 a.m., August 19th, outside of Freck's Lounge, on Superior Avenue near East 112th Street. Drink. Fight broke out inside the bar and spilled outside, according to police. Several people called police to help break up the fight. At least 3 gunmen opened fire during an ensuing shootout, police said.
Jesus.
Mittman fired an assault rifle during the shootout, according to court records. Police are still trying to identify the other shooters. Officers recovered several bullet casings from different guns and towed 3 vehicles as part of the investigation. Howard died at the scene, and 4 others between the ages of 29 and 45 were injured in the shooting. Those injuries were not life-threatening, police said. Mittman was convicted in 2 separate cases in 2015 for illegally carrying guns. In one case, he was driving a car that led Cleveland Heights police on a short chase into East Cleveland. He ran from police who found a gun with the serial number scratched off inside the car. Less than a month later, East Cleveland police arrested him for carrying a loaded gun inside Sam's Deli on Hayden Avenue. He pleaded guilty in both cases and was initially sentenced to 2 years on probation. He violated probation and served 1 year in prison. It's great. And now someone's dead.
Yeah.
And apparently, if you are visiting Cleveland, you don't want to go to a nightclub on the east side.
Right.
Apparently, there's shootouts that happen at them all the time.
There's a process.
Cleveland, Ohio. A Cleveland man raped a woman outside an East Side store in Cleveland, despite
If you're
the
a
fact
woman, you don't want to shop.
that an Uber driver stopped and tried to intervene. Al Bush, 43, is charged with rape and is currently lodged in the Cleveland City Jail awaiting his first court appearance.
Lodged.
That's L-O-D-G-E-D. Yeah.
I've never heard it called that. Like, I've heard cops say you're going to be a guest of the state or whatever, but yeah, I'm seeking lodging, Esquire.
Right. This is weird.
What will we be supping upon the grilled cheese this evening?
The incident happened about 4:30 p.m. Wednesday near the Dollar General on Lee Road and Throckley Avenue in the city's Lee Harvard neighborhood.
Yeah, drink.
It's a drink. Bush, who police said appeared to be high on PCP, grabbed a 38-year-old woman and slammed her up against a car, according to court records. He punched her and ripped off her clothes, court records say. He knocked the woman to the ground and tried to rape her, according to police. The woman fought with Bush, but he punched her several times and raped her, court's records say. A passing Uber driver saw the attack and pulled up near the two in the hopes that it would scare Bush away. The driver intentionally tried to make sure Bush saw her face and hoped he would stop, court records say. She called 911 and described the attack to dispatchers. She feared so much for the woman that she asked the 911 dispatcher if she should get out of her car and pepper spray Bush, court records say. The operator told her not to, and she complied. Get over it.
Yeah, let her keep getting raped.
Yeah, don't.
Like if you're gonna do that anyway, like why do you call 911 and then describe it? I'd be on my phone like, okay, I'm in my car watching this. Can I just Skype you? Like, here, watch. This is what I'm looking at.
I'm going to Facebook Live
hold up the camera.
Police arrived and Bush jumped into his car and led police on a short chase, police dispatch reports say. He crashed his car into a pole in the front yard of a home on Harvard Avenue near Lee Heights Boulevard and ran into the garage of a nearby home where Clint lives. No, dispatch reports say. He tried to run from police who eventually took him into custody, dispatch reports say. He eventually crashed his car and was arrested, according to police. I don't know why they wrote that line again. I think we got that from the first paragraph.
Like maybe he crashed his car into the pole, ran into the dude's garage, stole his car, and then crashed that one.
Apparently. Investigators found PCP in Bush's car, according to court records. Bush has 9 prior felony convictions starting in 1992, including 8 for drug possession or drug trafficking and 1 for carrying concealed weapons.
Hey, at least it's only 9. It could have been double digits.
Yeah.
It should have been worse.
So much for 3 strikes and you're out, I guess.
Yeah.
Finally, Cleveland, Ohio. A suspected drunk driver is charged in connection with a 1-car crash that killed a 4-year-old boy and left a 3-year-old boy in serious condition.
Jerk.
Mario Wiley, 28, is charged with aggravated vehicular homicide in the Thursday morning crash that killed 4-year-old Bryce Hurt. Wiley was arrested at the scene and is awaiting his first court appearance. The crash happened about 7:45 a.m. at the intersection of Broadway and Baxter Avenues in the city's Broadway Slavic Village neighborhood, according to police. Is that East Side, Slavic Village?
Yeah.
Drake. Wiley sped southeast in his 2002 Ford Explorer on Broadway and swerved around an RTA bus, according to court records. He hit a curb and crashed into a tree. Randall Thomas, who said he witnessed the crash, said he and another bus rider pulled the two boys out of the car while a woman talked to 911 dispatchers. He said the driver, later identified by police as Wiley, asked him not to call 911. Along with the two children, Wiley and another adult were also injured. All four were taken to Metro Health for treatment, where they died. No, they didn't die. Hurt was not wearing a seatbelt, according to court records. He died on Friday, according to I guess that did happen. Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner records. Wiley has previously convictions. Yeah, everybody was in great health and things were fine until they went to Metro Health Hospital afterward, where they were pronounced dead.
They were sent to Metro Health with minor cuts and bruises, where they were pronounced dead.
Right. Shortly after they died.
He went in with a headache.
Major surgery was begun.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
So they had to put a drill into his head to release the pressure.
All right, we got a few emails that we're way behind on, and Alex points that out in this one. He writes into Donald Mackenzie Bain Anderson at videogamenews.com.
Oh, jeez.
And he goes, so I'm writing this in August, so I'm sure I'll hear it around, I don't know, December? Anyways,
September.
The new format is new, and I can finally listen to the new podcast. Whatever, Kevin, please say the following words. Diskette, rapier, and he wants me to say epitome, but I say epitome, etc.
Epitome.
Anyways, keep making shows. Alex. P.S. Can you tell the story about the time you dropped acid and ran across the roof of the school? That wasn't me. Who did anybody actually? This is some shit my brother made up, I think.
Probably, because I didn't do that.
Yeah, I don't.
Nice job, Alex, because Kevin screwed up all three of those words.
Yeah. Corber did. Corber was drunk and ran across the roof and was pretending he was the crow and cut his foot open.
I am the crow!
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. But no, I've only taken acid once, and I was not on the roof of any school.
Luckily.
I don't think anybody's ever been on the roof of that school. Maybe somebody. I think because the rock or something, at one time because isn't that rock that inside a courtyard or something, so you have to scale the school in order to paint it or something?
Yeah.
So obviously some people must do it, but yeah, I know.
I think that's how they burned it down, that people jumped in through. They came and climbed the roof.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think.
No idea. Well, now they knocked it down. And now they're building a new one.
Well, they haven't knocked it down yet.
Oh, really? They're still using that one?
They knocked down the middle school, yeah. The high school's still up.
Oh, okay. But eventually they're knocking that down too, right?
Yeah. I think they're going to keep that.
Oh. I thought they were going to put them all in the same building.
They are, but they're going to keep that as like a, I don't know what it is, like a sports area thing. Like that's going to be all sports, not like a school.
It's crazy.
Or something crazy like that. Yeah, it's dumb.
North Olmsted, man. It's crazy.
Right.
Jezreel writes in and says, hey, Kevin and crew, here's a news article for your show. Okay. Badass judge. Let me see what this says. An Ohio judge was shot Monday morning outside his courthouse in an ambush attack that ended when the judge and a probation officer returned fire, killing the attacker, authorities said. That's when you know your criminal plan has gone wrong.
Not only is a cop right there because you're in front of the fucking courthouse, but your victim is also shooting you.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't expect him to shoot back.
Not a good place for an ambush. Police had a man apparently waiting for Judge Joseph J. Brazez Jr., who sits on the Jefferson County Court of Common Pleas, ran up to the judge and began shooting when he approached the courthouse.
Sure.
Braziz drew a gun and fired at least 5 rounds at the shooter, possibly hitting the attacker. Was he wearing his robe at the time? Because it might be hard to get your gun out if you got that crazy robe on. But
I can see I know where he's hiding it, though. He's got that robe on.
Maybe he just shot him through the robe. Like the guy didn't know he had the gun, and just bullets are coming out. Possibly hitting the attacker, Jefferson County Sheriff Fred J. Abdallah told reporters during emotional remarks Monday morning. This individual laid in wait for our judge, Abdallah said, tearing up during his remarks. It just hurts. First thing on Monday morning, you have a judge shot in front of his courthouse. This was an ambush and an attempted murder on our judge. Might not.
I remember that when it was on the news.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what the guy sounded like.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
I'm glad to...
that was one of your better impersonations.
I got that right. The shooting occurred in Steubenville, Ohio, a city best known for a high-profile rape case involving high school football players.
And for a city known for rape.
Yeah, not known for their giant ball of string or...
See, here in Ohio, our cities are known for, poverty, rape, murder, drugs.
High school football player rape. In a strange twist, the shooter was identified by authorities on Monday afternoon as Nathaniel Richmond, father of one of the 2 teenage boys found delinquent or guilty in 2013 as part of that rape case. Right.
Oddly enough.
Shane Hanlon, prosecutor for Jefferson County, identified Richmond as the shooter, but she said authorities do not believe there was any connection whatsoever between Richmond's son, Malik, and the shooting on Monday. Oh, yeah, okay.
Nah, it's just coincidental.
Just felt like it was time to shoot that judge.
Yeah, judge presided over his son's case, but this has nothing to do with that.
See, if I would have done it right after the case, they would have saw it coming. But I wait until he's like nowhere near, we're all out of the picture. Everything's over, it's blown over, and now I'm going to go shoot.
Crazy thing is, if I remember correctly, the dad there who shot him was also appearing in front of that judge for some other issue.
Oh, well, it might be this.
So between that and his son and the rape thing, if I'm the judge, as soon as I see that guy on the sidewalk walking toward me, I'm just drawing.
Yeah,
right, like he doesn't know him. like he doesn't see him coming and goes, jeez, here he comes.
Damn it.
Here comes this.
Braziz had, quote, nothing at all to do with that particular case, Hanlon said during an afternoon briefing, knowing that it was handled by a visiting judge from another area. However, Hanlon said authorities still did not know what might have motivated Monday's shooting. She said Nathaniel Richmond had a criminal history and cases in Braziz's courtrooms, as well as before other judges. But said it was not clear whether these previous cases or a pending case had anything to do with the shooting. Braziz was taken into surgery after the shooting, police said. He was in stable condition Monday afternoon and is expected to survive, Hanlon said, until he was transferred to Metro Health that afternoon, where he was pronounced dead. No, I don't think. Richmond was struck 3 times and killed on Monday. Since the probation officer as well as the judge fired rounds at him, Abdallah said it was not clear whether one of Brazier's bullets hit Richmond, who had fired 5 rounds. All right, I'm not going to keep reading. This goes on and on. But I guess good for the judge, even though he did get shot, but fought back. Finally, Tony writes into Amy O'Toole at VideoGameNews.com. And if my brother was here, he'd be like, oh, God.
Where is she?
Hello, Don and Crew. She just moved to Cleveland. Hello, Don and Crew. Question.
I saw her at the mall.
So is Kevin only releasing a bulk of episodes once a month? Also, will Brian ever be back? Well, the answer to that is yes, Brian is back, and probably with me. I don't know. I don't really feel like doing the shows like on the thing. It's like a big pain in the ass. So I got to put the memory card into the computer, and I got to find a graphic, and I'm very lazy, and I just don't really want to.
Just too busy sitting around car lots.
Yeah, I just waiting for nothing to happen to my car that I paid for. No, I don't know. I mean, I should put it up more frequently. I'm sorry. I'm bad at it. But the live show is always available, and the YouTube is always up momentarily after we're done. So if you're really jonesing, you can stream it off of the YouTube or the Twitch. It's also on the Twitch for like the whole week or whatever it is until Twitch is like, we want to just erase this content. So it's an option. It's an option. So it is. All right, we got 10 minutes left. So did you guys got your winter plans figured out yet? Gonna
Winter.
I apparently won't be going to visit my my parents in Florida. Their home has been swept out to sea as we speak.
Oh, that sucks.
Have you heard from them?
This morning they're like, yeah, they tell us it should be here in like an hour. So
I'm sorry for your loss. Be sure to put up like a YouTube picture of yourself, like with photos of your parents and everything, so everyone can tell you how sorry they are for you. And
with some like Alanis Morissette behind me.
Right. Make sure you get plenty of that Facebook
Isn't it ironic?
that everyone likes to give whenever there's anything that goes wrong with their life.
Even if you don't care that the thing went wrong.
Right. If you secretly actually don't care, but you just want to make it look like you do, so you can get some fake love. Anderson and I were talking about this earlier.
It's an inside joke.
About people we know.
I don't think I should be alone tonight.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think I can handle this, but then they're at the club.
Prayers needed. Prayers. Asking people for prayers, and when they're like praying for you, they're not really
positive
praying.
thoughts.
They're not praying for you. No one's. You think they're really like kneeling down and making like the sign of the cross and praying for you?
When I reach out to my prayer warriors, I do so confident that they support me fully.
That they're praying for you. That they're having a prayer. And may Larry get whatever Larry wants. God, thank you. Also, could you please make it so lunch is chicken tomorrow? Thank you. Please help. I don't know. This face.
You know what else?
Silly. What's that?
You know what else is going on? You know what else is going on in Cleveland?
What's that?
Indians.
Boom. See, that's the only thing I can go for is sports.
No, that's true. We're like, what is it? 18 games now or something?
They're going for 18 tonight.
Yeah.
18 in a row. And the Browns played today.
Yeah, they did.
And Larry didn't like it, but
No, he didn't.
I liked it. I thought the defense looked really good. And to hold Pittsburgh to 14 offensive points isn't that bad. They could still do work, obviously.
Pittsburgh was kind of doing everything in their power to help us, though, with all those penalties they were doing.
Yeah.
They were doing everything they could do.
We were just marching down the field thanks to them.
And
I do think our quarterback has an arm. It's just not. He's not.
He'll get there.
Look, one quarterback has like 14 years of experience, and the other one started today. So, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Cleveland?
That'll be all right.
I did like Larry's post though that you don't use a timeout to.
Never. You never, ever, ever use a timeout to decide if you want to challenge something. Because for anybody out there who doesn't know the way the challenge works in the NFL, is like basically if you challenge something and you're wrong, you lose a timeout. That's all that happens. So the absolute worst that can happen to you is you're going to lose a timeout. But if you take a timeout to decide if you're willing to risk a timeout, you've already lost the fucking timeout.
See?
So just challenge it at that point. Like, we need to take a timeout to decide if we're willing to gamble a timeout. What the fuck logic is that?
Are we thinking though if the Browns are
No,
terrible this year, is that the end of Hugh Jackson, or do we think that the love is so strong?
Number one, they're not going to be as bad as they were last year.
Well, that's what you say, but what if they are?
They're not going to go 1-15 again. They're not going to go 0-16.
Yeah, short of another just shit storm like that, no, he'll be here again. One more year.
And so anything that's better than 1-15 is going to solidify his job. He'll be okay. He's not going to go anywhere for the foreseeable near future. So,
what's the How crazy is it that the Steelers picked up Joe Hayden and put him in the position like immediately? Like, isn't that kind of weird? Like,
No,
doesn't he have to learn their playbook though, or something? Like, they're just like,
no, not on defense.
Oh, all right.
They're just like, do your thing, but do it like this.
Although I also, all we heard about was Greg Williams and his aggressive defense, and for the most part, our defense did look good. But my idea of an aggressive defense is not the safeties lining up 25 yards off the ball.
No, you got to look at the safeties though.
There is that.
Here in Cleveland, we fire safeties like the day before the game because they're like fighting, you know. So that happened also this weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, although Calvin Pryor wasn't our number one safety, you know,
I think
he
if
was
our
somebody
quarterback
else's.
learns how to throw the ball away, that would be good.
Yeah.
Or accurately, because he's got an arm. He can throw it past any receiver on our team.
Yeah, I think some of that'll come with experience, but I definitely think they should like teach him how to throw the ball away because
Accuracy's overrated.
getting sacked is, you know.
Because it's like we had a couple good drives there, but one thing I noticed on each of our really good drives was I found myself saying "nice catch" a lot. Because it was a nice grab because he came back for it, because he dove for it and picked it off the ground.
But I mean, let's be fair. As a Cleveland quarterback, he's only going to get to play maybe 3 or 4 games before he's injured.
Well, more importantly, with the way he's hanging on to the ball, getting sacked 10 times, and the way his idea of a QB scramble is diving head first into a linebacker. Yeah, he's going to have a short, ugly life.
It doesn't sound too good. Even, and then we're going to go to Hogan with Cody Kessler on the back. I mean, we're just doomed.
Yeah. So,
but the Indians.
My take on the Browns after watching their first game is go try.
Yeah, there you go. That's the best way to look at it.
Do we think since we got just a couple minutes left, do we think the Cavs are going to compete with the guy with the broken hip and the rest of those guys for Kyrie Irving, or are we not going to make it to the finals?
Oh, we got this.
You think so, really?
We're going.
Oh, absolutely.
We'll go to the finals for sure.
Think we have enough to do it without Kyrie?
That's the other. Well, it depends on.
Are the Celtics going to beat us now? Is that what's going to happen?
That's not going to happen.
Oh.
Because we got Jay Crowder too. So, but I don't see. I don't see. You don't know what you got with Isaiah Thomas because he's not going to be back until halfway through the year almost. Yeah. And then you got Derrick Rose, but
he's 100.
And he's Derrick Rose, and he gets hurt every time he breathes, and so you'll have to see. It all depends on everybody else and how it comes together. So
last year for LeBron, think he's leaving?
For us, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was him, I would. I would leave. I'd be like, nope, I'm out.
Where do you go though? You know,
everybody says LA, but that's not a good. I don't think that's a good choice.
Yeah,
it's not. I don't think that's a good idea. Just because they're a very young team, and yeah, they could use them and stuff. But
do we want him as he gets older? I mean, isn't he just getting like to the point where he's just going to get injured and shit as he gets like in his 30s?
What's he got, Larry? Like 3 more years, 4 more years?
Yeah, he's got 3 or 4 good years, and especially with the way the East still looks, where we'll be able to do the same thing we did last year, and for the second half of the season, play him like 2 out of every 3 games and give him the other game off.
Right.
So all right. So I mean, we got the Indians, we got the Cavs, we got things going on. So we'll just ignore the Browns. It's fine. Yeah. Nothing new there.
Nothing.
Indians might win the World Series this year, though. It could happen.
Never know.
And how crazy is it that although as we're talking about our Indians win streak at 17, how crazy is it that Jedi's Diamondbacks won 13 in a row?
Oh.
And the Dodgers lost 10 in a row, and the
Right, that's
Diamondbacks
the
are still 10 games behind them.
Wow.
That's the best part.
I don't know what to think about that. I don't know if that means that they've turned the corner and they're getting better now, or
it's like we'll never catch them. Oh my God, we won 13 in a row. Oh my God, they've totally fucking shit the bed. We're still double digits behind them.
it's really weird. All right, well that's it for the show. We'll be back next week with or without Brian. And you guys got any shout outs or anything?
Go try.
Nope.
Okay. Thanks everybody. Good night.
Late.
Peace.